It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. Just taking some clean, fresh air. 'Cause no sense in staying inside. If the weather's fine and you got the time, it's your chance to wake up and plan another brand new day.
Good morning, Barcelona. Welcome to Thursday at English Radio on RKB 106.9 FM and to our smooth jazz and wine mornings. I'm Virgil, still and always, and I welcome you to our celebration of wines and the people who provide them. We're going to be talking with people who help us to enjoy the wines, and we'll be here to listen to some great music that I'll be putting out for you to help us savor the wines that much better. Joining us today is Jessica Stockwell from Cavas Socials, and somewhere en route is our very special guest, Gerard Jané from Jané Ventura, a producer of wines in Cava since 1914. Perfect. Gerard, just walk.
There will be children with robins and flowers. Sunshine caresses each new waking hour. Seems to me
Well, we have our guest in studio, and as I was saying, we're going to be graced by two fantastic presences. Jessica Stockwell from Cava Socials, which is a wonderful new initiative to help us enjoy Cava that much better. And our very special guest, Gerard Jané from Jané Ventura, a great producer of wines in Cava since 1914. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Thanks.
Well, apart from committing to make great wines, Gerard, Jané Ventura also has a desire to make a better planet. Tell us how that came about.
Well, I could say many things about this, but for me, it's something that has to do with being alive. No, try to enjoy what you do, and of course, have the aim to bring something, to our land, to our society. And of course, through the wine, we understand that we can explain, transmit a lot of values that we feel connected with, like the value of the landscape. We also put that into, the art, the culture, of course, the music. I think it's one of the nice things I enjoy making wine.
Well, your wine does make life much better.
Yes.
Now, Jessica, you've created a very interesting project, as we said, called Cava Socials.
Right.
What's the objective of this initiative?
Well, it's twofold. One is to introduce the elegance of cava and sparkling wine to sparkling wine enthusiasts and wine lovers like myself all over the world. And the other one is to showcase this new generation of winemakers here in the Penedès region. I'm just, for a year, I've been kind of going up to the wineries and discovering the different wines. And I went to Cavetast last year, and I just was in awe of all the producers of sparkling wine, cava and sparkling wine. So I started to take an interest. Mm-hmm. And I'm finding them to be just a completely new generation. They might be third generation, but they're new generation. They're using technology and innovation, and they have a special passion and magic, I think, that's really special to all the producers in this area. That's just what I've found and experienced.
We'll be back to talk with more with our guest right after this.
Make a move, do your thing. It don't really matter if you're out of tone, so enjoy yourself for afternoon. I'm putting my foot down. and swing my thing back around. And play my favorite tone, the greedy that man and why buy the shoes if you ain't gonna dance? Free your mind, take a chance. What are you doing just hanging around? Shake your head, go downtown. I'm putting my foot down and swing my thing back around. And play my favorite tone. Sooner than later, pull my head out of the sand. Stop lying in the gutter, sipping whiskey with my crackers and spam. Why wear the ring if it ain't gonna shine? Tell your man you're worth the line. Gonna buzz, kiss him hard and feel his love. I'm putting my foot down and swing my thing back up. I'm putting my foot down and switch this hip back up and play my own damn tone.
And that was Beth Hart with Swing My Thing Back Around. Well, to help us swing our thing back around this morning, Gerard has brought us a wonderful cava. This is the Reserva della Musica.
Rosé.
Which is perfect. It's a beautiful rosé color that is going to be able to be a perfect complement to his shirt that he's wearing today, I see. But also, it has, the wonderful thing which I think about cava. This one, Gerard, is made from 100% Grenache?
Yes.
Okay.
This is one of the very first cavas made 100% Grenache. Because we have always been committed with the local grapes, and we have always made our cavas from local grapes. We never use the French grapes. No?
Yeah.
We started making cava in 88, even though I am the fourth generation in the family, but cava we started in 88. My father started, and the philosophy hasn't changed a lot. It hasn't not changed, no, because it's now, we have 4 cavas, more or less, and they are 100% based on local grapes and very, very low dosage. This rosé is only 3 grams of dosage. It's a brut, but very low dosage. And the other cavas we will try today are brut nature.
Perfect, so perfect. Well, I think the good thing, one of the things that has, it's a wonderful, as you said, smoked salmon kind of color. Yes. It has a little bit of notes of blood orange and mandarina, right?
Yes, and green strawberry, or it's a red fruit. It has a very short maceration time. It's just 30 minutes. We stem the grapes, and we put into the pressing machine for half an hour, 1 hour of skin contact, and then we start pressing. But it's 100% from red grape. We have always
Right.
also made the rosé from 100% red.
That's,
Because we wanted to make a difference between the white cavas and the rosé cavas.
that's very different
Okay.
and unique.
I think also the thing that's nice about this, it isn't like many rosé cavas. It's not sweet. It has a very, very
yes.
rich Brut Natur.
Yes,
May I
yes,
taste
it, yes, it tastes like
Yes,
a Brut
go
Natur
ahead.
because the acidity is quite high. Today
Mhm.
we have been at 8. I was in the vineyards at
Okay.
500 meters. We have started harvesting the Grenache for the Rosé Cava.
So you're
Perfect.
very
And the
busy.
vineyards come from 500 till 700 meters, and it makes that the acidity
Mhm.
is quite high which is very important for
Which
the
is
cavas.
important.
Yes.
Now, talking about that, we were talking a little bit here in the break about the label design,
Yes.
which has a
The labels
musical influence into it, almost.
Yes. In fact, this label is inspired by the style of painting of famous painting from Switzerland, Paul Klee.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Clay,
Yes, it
because
has that
Yeah.
motif.
He has some of his paintings with he wants to show some musical sense
Mm-hmm.
from different shapes or different colors,
Yes.
because he was a professional violinist, Paul
Oh,
Klee.
he was.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
And in the Paul Klee Centrum in Bern, I've been
Right.
there.
Yes.
There is an auditorium too, and a friend of mine, a musician, they told me about Paul Klee. Well, and then it was a coincidence, but finally it was the third design we made
It's a
when we
work.
work in this project.
Well, now, in addition
And-
to Paul Klee, you also have Pau Casals, which is a great
Yes,
federation
in
too.
fact, the name of this cava, Reserva de la Música, and the three cavas we will
Right.
try today, they are connected with music. We started in 2010 when we changed the labels of our cavas. Then we decided to put the music into the label
It's
because
Mm.
we are, as you said, from the birth town of Pablo Casals,
Right.
Pau Casals, and we have a close connection with the foundation of Casals, with the Auditorium Pau Casals, which is where the Classical Music International Festival takes place since 81, and since 95 we serve our cavas in the first concert, so now for 25 years. And we also have a relation with the family of Casals. So, and my
Nice.
father met him personally.
Mm.
So it's a person that is more than a musician. Yes, he
He's-
was proposed twice as a
he's-
peace Nobel, and he
He's
was.
extended family in some ways.
Well, the family is not very, because he didn't have sons or
That's what I mean.
children. He didn't have
he's-
children, but I know. Well, his niece is 99 years old.
Really?
She's still alive and very active.
That's
yes.
amazing.
And his wife was living in Washington,
Mhm.
Marta Casals. It's 80 something,
Right.
and she's the vice president of the foundation. She's still very, very active and comes here 3-4 times a year. And we also support a lot of events of the foundation when they have sometimes a concert or a presentation of a book or exposition with our cavas.
Well, I think that's
And,
important because, as you stated earlier, that the commitment to life, you're having the continuation of the story of Casals as a part of your cavas that you produce. So again, it's almost a living history of the
Yes.
region, of the family, of everything.
Yes. Well, Casals is probably one of the most famous Catalans,
Absolutely.
all over the world, and we are very proud to have this connection with him. And of course, the most important of this cava is what is inside. Is the quality, is the
Absolutely.
vineyards, the work we do. But I think it's nice if we can do these connections, as I said
And
at the
that's
very beginning.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is
Mm-hmm.
it's to showcase more than just what's in the bottle,
Yes.
but also behind the
Yes.
stories behind the bottles,
Mhm.
the stories and labeling, not just the regulations, but the stories of how you came up with the names.
Turn a little bit there.
Turn
Yes,
this.
turn your mic. Yes, yes.
Okay,
So we can hear
better.
Now, again, we looked at this, and as you talk about this particular cava, it's particularly good with rices, with white meats, with pastas, obviously,
Yes.
with seafood.
Carpaccios,
Right.
very good for summertime or for all the year, but it's maybe the fresher of the
The
ones
three.
we have now, the
Right.
three, and it's very pleasant to
It's
drink
light.
because
Right.
it's light,
Yeah,
yes,
and
but it's
some
tasty
fruity.
too. I think
Yeah.
it's,
Very well.
the aftertaste is
Very
quite
Very
long.
refreshing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
So when
it's
you talk to
well,
your audience, how do you propose
Well,
to get this out to them?
I would say that so I have three categories that there's so many sparkling wines and cavas, I get overwhelmed. And so I've decided to kind of ask sommeliers and the people who know winemaking what their favorite is, if it was elegant, fun, or trending.
okay.
And so elegant is generally the Gran Reserva and
Okay,
the higher,
okay.
the ones that have been aged longer, generally, not necessarily. Fun is more the ice and the one for mixing or adding for the younger generation. And then trending is, or trendy is organic, ancestral
okay,
now is
okay,
kind
okay.
of
Yes, I know.
trendy now.
We are in the process of being organic. For example, last vintage will be certified organic.
Oh.
This is
Ah,
2000.
okay,
this
that's
is no,
great.
this is 2017, but the
Okay.
last we bottle, 2019 will be organic. So from
Excellent.
19, and we started in 2010 working organic our vineyards, but we also work with 25 different vine growers.
Perfect.
Some of them have become organic, some not. So we the ones that didn't want to become organic, we are not working with them anymore. But
Yeah,
for
I
us,
think
it's
It's a big
important.
transition. It's a transition, of
Sometimes
course.
we have wait 1, 2, 3 years to see if that vine grower decided to be organic, no? Because
Sure.
and 80% of them have
They have
become
come over?
organic. Yes,
Yes.
but
Well, I
we
think
need
it-
3 years until the vineyard is certified. No, so sometimes,
Right.
but for me, it's not a problem if it takes 2, 3, 4 years more,
No.
because I think this is a process.
It's
no?
it's
And
new
yes,
practices
yes.
that everybody's doing
Yes.
with technology, innovation, and then organic. And it's just, this is Mother Nature, and it's
Yes.
and you wrap it up so beautifully in a bottle, and we get to enjoy it.
Well, we'll be back to talk more with our guest right after this.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I've searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Some people go around the world for love, and they may never find what they dream of. What you won't do for love. You've tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. I know I only want the best, it's true. I can't believe the things I do for you. What you won't do, I do for love. You've tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world,
Out. And that was Lauren Henderson with What You Won't Do for Love. Oh, we've talked about wonderful reservas, and as you're pulling out another one, which is going to be wonderful, you talk about how, as part of the viticulture in Jané Ventura, the dry stones.
Dry stones.
Well,
dry stones now is they are, when you say dry stones, which we call in Catalan pedra seca.
Right.
Well, maybe 15, 20 years ago, very few people in Catalonia knew what it
Right.
we were talking about, no? And it's maybe one of the most popular element of our landscape. It
Right.
means basically most part of these are the dry stone constructions are the walls
Right.
that were made 200-300 years ago to build the terraces,
Right.
to keep the soil against the erosion. But there are also small constructions,
Right.
like small houses we call cavanas, barracas.
Right.
And there is different groups in Catalonia that work for the preservation of this technique, which is now because 100 years ago all the vine growers were able to build and rebuild their stone walls. And nowadays it's difficult to find people who is able to do this. No?
Who have the technique
But
to be able to do it,
most
yes.
part of the Mediterranean, like the part of the Penedès where we are located, in south of Penedès, we have most of the vineyards on the terraces, on the very close to the mountains. And I think that it gives a special beauty of the landscape. It
It's a beautiful landscape.
brings a bit of rusticity idea, which also it's an idea of quality, no? We don't irrigate our vineyards as well. So I've promoted some activities for people to know this preservation of this landscape, the addition of books and seminars about how to build a stone wall and so on. So it's
Sure, those
one
are
of the things I enjoy making wine also because we can explain all this patrimonium that we have around our vineyards.
It's the
Yes, it's
again.
history. It's history. It's
It's
part
the
of it's also, I think, the soul of the wines. It's also
Well, it is, because it goes again the soil, the rocks and everything. It's all part of the cultivating the grapes.
Yes.
That,
When I made
give it-
in 2008 the map of the soils, we studied the soils with an engineer agronome. I realized that there was a relation between the stones that we found on the walls and the type of the soil of every plot. You know?
Sure.
And then I realized that these dry stones constructions is the fact that the wine and the landscape is connected, you know?
Absolutely.
Because depending on the shape of the stones, on the color of the stones, they looks one way or another way, no? So
the stones actually filter the moisture, and then the vines will absorb it
in
in
general,
different ways.
it's nice to have stones into the vineyards. There are different types of stones. In most of our are limestone, no?
Right.
Like in Priorat you find the cheese, but in Penedès we have the limestone, which also gives minerality and gives texture to the wines, gives complexity, and it gives a good drainage too, also, and aeration, which is these are quality factors of the vineyard.
Well, now we're going to be tasting the Reserva della Musica Brut Natur, which is a blend of Xarel·lo, Macabeo, and Parellada.
In similar proportions, but a bit more Xarel·lo and Macabeo. And I brought the new vintage, which is not in the market yet.
This is the new vintage.
There's no vintage 2017, okay, which is now 27 months or 28 months.
Okay.
It was the gorge in July. We put the gorging date on the code on every bottle.
Perfect. Now this is wonderful. Again, you retain the musical notes on the label, which again is the history.
Well, through this label, we want to show very symbolic, in a symbolic way, three different means of music. Could be like the squares could be bubbles that are moving. No? It could be instruments, pipes, like an organ,
like the organ.
or keyboard, or strings of an arpa or a xylophone.
Right.
No?
Sure.
And then could be also pentagrammas. There are these
Right.
5 squares represents the horizontal lines and then the vertical lines of the pentagram.
Well,
And we
things
have the
also-
corchea on the back,
Right.
here, on the neck label, and also on the,
Oh, yes,
on
the
the
little-
cork.
the
Yeah.
music
Ah,
note.
nice, nice.
Lovely.
Very symbolic.
I think it's great
But,
because
uh,
you're using 3 different kinds of grapes to produce this wine, and so to be able to have the label mirror those 3 grapes is wonderful.
Yes.
Again. Now here we're looking at you said this is
How big
fermented,
is it?
for 6 months, 6 weeks. I'm sorry, and then it's in the clay for like 24 to 30
Yes,
months.
now it's this vintage is now 27,
Good.
and we will finish with around 3 years. So it's a reserva with a good aging time.
And it's a great color. It's a very, nice
it's
yellow.
different.
It's different, and
not
it has
tawny,
nothing to do
but
with the rosé. Yes.
It's almost like a nice straw color. Very,
yes,
very nice.
Yes.
And very, very good.
And in the nose you have complexity
Mm.
because you have like the
You have a little bit of citrus.
confiture of citrus, yes,
Mhm.
and white fruits like pear or
Right.
quince, but also a bit herbs.
I was going to say, you
Yes.
get a little bit of
It's-
mineral
mm.
touch in there.
And in the mouth it's very fresh, but it has intensity. It has a good taste
It does.
because there is 30% around more or less comes from old vines.
Mm.
So and this gives a bit more texture, a bit more intensity in the mouth. We get less than 5,000 kilos per hectare with the old vines.
How many years
Oh.
are these vines? How many years are they of
From
age?
50 till 80 years old.
So these are like the grandfather
Yes,
vines.
Yes, yes, and a lot of vine growers we work with that they, 60 years ago, some of them used to sell the wine to my grandfather, who was a wine dealer, when they
Right.
make the wine at the country houses. And
Now this wine would be very good for
This cava.
yeah,
I make the distinction
Yeah, to make a
cava.
distinction,
Sparkling wine.
for
but you can have
hamon,
also with
smoked meats, fish.
yes, with fish, any kind, even with white meat,
Mhm.
with pasta, with paella too. I think
is
it's
this
a cava
good as
that
a-
have enough intensity. You can start and finish.
Right.
with-
This
with
would
this.
be.
It's-
I mean,
it's
also be
qui-
good
it's
with cheeses and pate.
with cheeses too. Also, it's very gastronomic.
Mm.
It's dry. It's very dry, but the sensation in the mouth.
Does this one
is-
have more of
is
a traditional kind of taste, do you think?
Yes, it could be traditional kind of taste. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. This is more or less the taste of cava. What we said about this citrus, these
Mhm.
white fruits, and these herbs too,
So would this,
Mediterranean herbs. But what I like of this, I think has a good combination between the intensity, has a long aftertaste,
Right. No, it's
the freshness, and the creaminess. It has the.
it's like a fine wine, and it is
Yes.
complex.
It's
You
complex.
have the initial taste when it goes into your mouth, but then it builds on the palate and becomes even more interesting as you have.
Now,
it.
as it is getting a bit warm temperature,
Mhm.
I smell now a bit of fennel notes,
Mhm.
like
Uh-huh.
these herbs, and we try to
Mhm.
make. Our aim is to make gastronomic cavas that you
go with different
good
foods?
that it means that they are not only refreshing, they have something more. No, they have this intensity, this aftertaste. That also, if you drink them alone, or also you.
Right.
It's the way we understand that the wine of cava should be, with as with intense as
Absolutely.
possible.
And I think, again, as we talked about earlier, Jessica, before, we have to get past the idea that cavas are just for occasions, that you can drink this cava as an aperitif, with something. You could have it as a complement to the main meal. You could have it for cheeses or whatever after dessert. So as you start talking.
Yes. It's. I was talking to somebody who's a sommelier, and she said, me and my friends, we kind of have aperitifos, once or twice a week, and we might just have a small glass of cava before dinner or after work, or even when I went up to Penedès recently, I was amazed again. at 11 o'clock, there's all kinds of bodegas and the restaurants are open. And at 11 o'clock, there's cava on the table.
Absolutely. Because,
And-
again, it's not for an occasion.
That's right.
It's just for every day, every moment. Every moment is a cava moment.
Yeah.
That's the point. Well, you're listening to English Radio Thursday, Smooth Jazz and Wine Mornings on Radio Canal Barcelona, 106.9 FM. We're back to talk more with Jared and Jessica right after this. And that was Ollie Silk with Chill or Be Chilled. Well, obviously, our cavas need to be chilled, and they are, and they're wonderful. And we're going to taste now, Gerard, your Dio cava. So tell us about this one.
Well, this is a very special cava. We produce around 10,000 bottles. It comes from 100% old vines, from 50 till 80 years old.
Chirello and Macabeo?
And the name is Do, which is the C note in Catalan,
Right.
Do, Re, Mi.
Shall I?
No, okay.
And which at the same time in Catalan means a gift, a talent. Okay. Well, we made this cava also since 88. And from the 2008 vintage, we changed the label and put the concept or the name of the music. It's 2013 vintage, so now this vintage is 6 years, almost 6 years and a half on the lease, which soon we will jump to the next vintage.
No, it's
a very complex cava. I think this cava is amazing. I could say.
I mean, just the aroma alone is incredible.
You smell of course the aging notes, a bit creamy notes, but the fruit is still there. Is still there, and
very much.
You still feel the freshness from the nose.
It's
that's nice.
Many different.
And in the mouth is very elegant, very round, very complex, but fresh at the same time.
It has definition. It has a unique note. You know, it has like a.
This is very nice. Just again,
this is a cava to eat with.
I haven't even tasted it. I'm just smelling it. You can just smell it. It's just fantastic. Yes. Just to take the aromas in. It's a matter of savoring it even before you taste it.
All three of these are lovely. It's to taste them like this together, so you can appreciate the difference. That's what's important, I think, about three different cavas.
Yes. This one is very good because it's very full, and it also evolves. As it stays in your mouth. It's really very, very nice. It's very, very nice. Now, obviously, this is the premium cava.
Yes, it's the premium we make. Yes, there is another cava today, which I didn't say, but I.
Okay, this is a surprise you told me about. Yes, right.
Which is also very special, and also we are working on another cava maybe with longer aging than these two, and also. We have started working from different plots, from unique vineyards, old vineyards, try to make some special cavas from basically Xarel·lo and Macabeu. We are also in this process because this cava comes from like seven different vineyards, from not far from our cellar, which is cellar Jané Ventura is in El Vendrell, and the vineyards come from the municipalities which are around and a bit more in the interior, like Albinyana, la Bisbal del Penedès, El Montmell, and also the municipality of Aiguamúrcia, which is a very nice place with the monastery of Santes Creus, is a very famous, and the vineyards around there are very nice Macabeus from old vineyards. So. Well, we try to find from every place, or we grow old vineyards of Macabeu, but
are these all old vines again?
These are all vines. Yes, it's 100% old vines.
And so the production is very limited.
It's limited from these vines is 3,000 kilos per hectare till 5,000 kilos, something like this.
Okay.
For cava it's very low.
That's
maybe
very
for
low.
Priorat it's not low, but
no, but it's low.
Yes,
but again, so where would this price out? If you go to buy this in the stores?
It's not expensive at all for the quality.
Really?
How much would you pay?
Which is the wonderful thing about all the cavas and sparkling wines is that they're new and fresh and at a good price point.
How much would you pay?
I would. Honestly, for me, I would pay again. I'm a guy from New York, so I would pay easily €25 a bottle for this.
Yes. But now the price is 15 euros.
Really?
Yes, really.
15 euros.
Yes.
That's why
I know
it's magnificent.
We're in the land of cava, so there's an abundance of it.
Mm-hmm. I think in the US it's around $30.
$30 at least. At least that.
I don't remember
double.
Exactly, but
at least double. So
but I think the price is very good, and I think it's this cava. Sometimes, some clients or friends, tell us that it's considered one of the very good cavas in the level of the top sparkling.
I mean, you have the deal of on this as well. The Penedès for cavas, but this to me is really one of the more premium cavas that I've tasted. It's really
Last
very
year,
good.
the Gourmet's Guide ranked it with 95 points. It was between the 15 best sparklings.
Easily.
Mm.
Now this only has 12.5% alcohol.
Yes, maximum. Some vintages is 12, some vintages 12 and a half.
Yeah,
Because
good.
when we harvest the grapes, is around 10 and a half to maximum 11 and a half. And then after the second fermentation, the cava, it's always one alcohol, one
Level
degree
up.
more on.
Now also because we've seen some cavas as much as 15%. And
15?
15.
No, it's not possible for
No,
cava.
it's regulated.
No,
I
because
have
it's
it.
regulated. The maximum allowed on the label is 12 and a half.
We've seen some 13, 14.
No, it's not possible. But then it's not maybe cava.
It's
maybe
not
it's
cava.
not
It might be a
appellation or...
spark.
Okay, good. No, when you start looking at this and you start looking at the mix of offerings that you give to your clients, how do you structure in your mind the best client for this particular cava? Do you see this as a younger person, an older person, someone who has a different kind of taste, a different palate? How would you present this?
Well, I think these cavas, in general, our cavas, maybe are not for a specific type of person, I think. People who like a sparkling, in general, they like our cavas. Even they are dry, very dry, but I think they have this creaminess and this roundness in the mouth that make them very elegant, no? In general, it's people who like sparkling wines, they enjoy our cavas. Even sometimes some people who doesn't like the sparkling, sometimes they try some of ours when they visit the cellar with our friends, or no, I'm not interested in cava. I just and they let me try, and it's good. So as we don't produce so many bottles, I'm not really thinking about the consumer or who is. But
you're thinking about making the best
enjoyed.
cavas.
Of course, if it's some people who is used to drink cavas, then they will appreciate the quality, no?
Yeah, the quality stands out on this one. The reason I like this because of the complexity, and I like the complexity because it's almost like a still wine, a fine still wine.
Yes.
And you also make some wonderful still wines. So when you start looking at the balance between your sparkling wines and your still wines, you're obviously using many of the same grapes to be able to produce
Yes,
it.
we use also the local grapes for cava, the Xarel·lo, Macabeu. Parellada we use for the cava only, and we also are pioneers in Penedès using the grape Sumoll, which is a red grape, which now it's coming in the last 10 years.
Right.
We were one of the few sellers that we started around in 2001 vintage together with another winery called Heretat Montrubí in the same year. And we also were the second winery after Vega de Ribes in bottling still wine, dry wine from Malvasia de Sitges. So we work with Malvasia since 2004 too. So we have always what I was telling at the beginning of the interview about the values or we understand the wine as an expression of our land, you know, and for us it's natural to put the eyes into the local grapes. Even 25 years ago or 20 years ago, when they were not so appreciated as now, at that time the French grapes were more important when you wanted to make a top wine, no? Because they are really amazing grapes, of course. But we have realized that we have local grapes which can be as interesting as the others. And now most of the wineries in Penedès, or in general in Catalonia, no, are of course working very hard with the local grapes, because we can achieve a unique personality, you know, that into our wines, which offers something different to the world, no? And
which I think is great, because again, cava is a very unique product. It is not champagne.
It is not champagne,
and
of course.
it is it's wonderful on its own, and I think it rivals champagne in many cases in terms of quality, taste, the ability to satisfy Much sore.
Last year I was in California and I offered a tasting of cava in a champagne bar in Sonoma. In Sonoma, yes, and people really enjoy the cava and what you said before. I think in general the prices of cava are very interesting for the quality.
Absolutely. We'll be back for some closing comments right after this.
This will be an everlasting love.
This will be the one I've waited for.
This will be
the first time anyone has loved me. I'm so glad he found me in time.
I'm so glad that she rectified my mind. This will be
An everlasting love for me.
loving you is some kind of wonderful.
'Cause you've shown me
Just how much you care
you've given me the thrill of a lifetime.
and made me believe you got
More thrills to spare.
This will be
An everlasting love.
You brought a lot of sunshine into my life.
You filled me with happiness I never knew.
You gave me more joy than I ever dreamed of.
And no one can take the place of you. This will be
This will be,
an everlasting love.
this will be the one I waited for. This will be you and me. Yes, sirree. Eternally. Hugging and squeezing and kissing and pleasing together forever through any whatever.
Yeah.
So long as I'm living, true love I'll be giving to you. I'll be serving 'cause you're so deserving. You're so deserving.
Baby, you're deserving, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, 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 Give me that love, 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 love,
I need that love, yeah. Hey, from now on, 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 from now on.
And that was Dave Kaz doing a song that was made popular by Natalie Cole called This Will Be. Now, Gerard, you promised us a special surprise, and we're about ready to taste it. This surprise is, again, going back to the history of
Well, it's a
the
special.
the vineyard,
yes.
the family. This is called
It's a cava we made based on the Cava Do of the Gran Reserva.
Mm-hmm.
In 2009 vintage, we made a special edition of 500 bottles for the celebration of the 90th anniversary of the Castellers del Vendrell, els nens del Vendrell, the group that built the Human Towers, that they are one of the 3 oldest groups in Catalunya. And well, we inspired with Cava Do too, and we made a selection of 500 bottles with a special label, which we only sell in our winery. Okay, so we still have like 100 left.
Right.
It's very similar than the dough we tried before,
Right.
but with like 15% parellada.
Okay.
So maybe
Now this has a kind of a toasted oak
yes,
aroma.
there is yes, there is not oak, but because of the aging.
Ah,
Yes,
there's a wonderful smell.
it's because of the aging with yeast, which is now 10 years on the lease. Okay, and with the gourds maybe 20 bottles, and after 6 months with the gourds 20 bottles more, and the people who collect the
The
placard,
coupe.
they
Tops.
come
Yeah.
to buy it to the cellar, but it's it's one
It's
of
a
our
collector's
cavas
item.
with 10 years of aging.
But this is again your absolute premium one that you sell for.
Well, nowadays, in the cellar we sell at 20 euros, yes.
But even
it could be 30 euros
easily.
Yes, easily, yes, for the limited edition and the quality, of course. And
I mean, this rivals, the Perrier Jouet. It rivals the Dom Perignons and everything, and with an even better flavor, taste, quality, and the price is remarkable. But again, it's very complex, very full. Now with this, again, I'm getting the fullness as it lingers on the palate. This would be ideal for a meal with heavier sauces, possibly. Sauces, más plena. Not necessarily romesco, but a
Romesco is a bit difficult to combine for me.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
this is
prefer even a young red wine or a
Right.
rosé, because it's quite strong, the Romesco.
But I'm thinking like of
Sometimes-
a salsa de champignons.
Yeah,
Champignons.
champignons. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because of the creamy
Right.
taste. Yes.
This would be
Yes.
great because it would cut through it. It wouldn't overpower the sauce, but it provides a nice